Do you know which layout will be sold out on the first day itself for Emerald of Katong?
Not sure, bro.
Continue watching this video and you will find out which one is it. Hi everyone, I'm Nitin.
Hi, I'm Andy.
And today we're going to do an analysis for
Emerald of Katong.
For Emerald of Katong, the developer is Simlian, and for the preview day and booking day itself, it's going to be expected in the upcoming weeks. So we will keep you updated once the day is out. Emerald of Katong, it has actually 846 units, 6 blocks, so one of 18 floor, one of 19 floor, and 4 times 21 floors. So I have a very good news for you. Andy, do you know what is it?
I know, the basement car parks.
Yes, so actually Emerald of Katong has basement car park. So this is actually one of the best features I feel of the whole development itself. And then, so the units here are actually 1 plus study to 5 bedder, and the TOP is 2029.
On paper, bro.
Okay. So amenities for Emerald of Katong. Andy, do you know where's Emerald of Katong?
To be honest, I'm staying in the east, so I'm very familiar with this location. So in fact, Emerald of Katong is located 5 minutes away from the MRT, Katong MRT. So that location itself have a lot of eateries and cafe. So have you been to some of the cafe or not, bro?
Of course, I love Katong. Katong has the best food.
Sure not.
Yes. Okay, so let me run through with you some of the key amenities here. So as you can see, it's actually 5 minutes walk to Tanjong Katong Secondary School and TKGS. So these are actually two of the best schools in Tanjong Katong area. And then it's also 3 minutes walk to Tanjong Katong Primary School. And then cafe and food options, it's all here. I don't really have to share much. It's very great. So MRT is only 5 minutes away. So if you're even looking to, cycle, it's only 6 minute cycle to I-12, 1 MRT stop to Parkway Parade. And those ECP lovers, good news, it's only about 5 minutes cycling to ECP. And then it's about 7 minutes drive to Paya Lebar MRT. And there you have a lot of malls and a lot more things you can go for.
For the highway wise, just drive through the Tanjong Katong road, just 2 minutes away from the highway. So you can exit to the airport or towards the city itself.
Okay, so now I'll be actually running through with you the URA master plan. So what you can see here is that this is the actual site for where Emerald of Katong will be. And in front of that, there's some expected developments, redevelopments. But for now, we are not sure exactly what it's going to be. And so what I want to highlight to you here is that there might be a chance that your view might be blocked in the future. So take note of that.
Okay, based on the site plan for Emerald of Katong, so primarily it's just north facing and south facing. So you can look at over here, which the view A, which is the south facing, actually is facing to the ECP that side. So you can see that in front there is Ola residence. Based on this image, you can see that view A, which is facing the south, in front of Emerald of Katong, which is the Ola residences, which is the low-rise residences. So you can see the Iesta and also Sea View condo in front of us. So they are mainly quite high-rise building. So Sea View might be restricted on that portion. But towards the right-hand side, you can see that there might be some pockets Sea View on this side. Based on the north facing itself, which is facing the Tembusu Grand and Head Court. So some of the units that are facing Tembusu Grand might have some pocket pool view on that direction. So generally, the whole area is quiet facing.
Now we are the site plan for Emerald of Katong. First thing first, I want to show you that this is actually the premium block. So these are where all the big units are. So the rest of the blocks are all situated alongside here. And then for facilities wise, it's actually full condo facilities. So you have a 50-meter lap pool, you have your tennis court, and then also I want to highlight to you that there's actually a side gate that will connect you to the neighborhood park. So all these are just some of the pointers that I want to let you guys know.
And there's a side gate that links towards the Katong MRT, which takes 5 minutes a walk from there.
Okay, now we are at the unit mix for Emerald of Katong. So 1 plus study, there's actually about 484 square feet. 82 units, it's about 10%. 2 bed plus premium, 624 and 646 square feet. 145 units, about 17%. So 2 bed plus study is about 678, 689, 700. 143 units, 17%. 3 bedder, 883 and 904 square feet. 101 units, 12%. 3 bed plus study, 969, 990 and 1023 square feet, 139 units, 16%. And then you have the 3 bed flexi, 990 square feet, 42 units and 5%. 4-bed plus study, 1,152 square feet. We have about 36 units of that, 4%. 4-bed premium, 1,259 square feet, 1,270 square feet. We have 84 units, and then that's about 10%. 1,302, 1,313 for the 4-bed Lux and Study. We have about 36 units with 4%. And lastly, our 5-bedder, we have 1,475, 1,485, and 1,551 square feet. 36 units at also 4%. So what I actually want to highlight to you key is that most of the units here are actually oriented more towards own stay and lesser for investment. So we have the unit distribution. So unit distribution, as I mentioned earlier, so block 59 is the Lux block. So all the bigger units, the premium units are actually here. The rest of the blocks, I can tell you that there's actually an even mix of the various unit types. So that's actually the key things that I want to highlight to you here.
If you look at this site map, you actually can see that block to block wise actually is very comfortable, 41 meters apart. Even for the site wise, is like 49 meters along the Tembusu, Jalan Tembusu road that side. So if you are talking about the main road, which is the Tanjong Katong, actually is 110 meters away. So which means that we will be expecting the whole area will be very quiet because it's far away from the roadside.
Nice comparison. So good news here is that Emerald of Katong is actually the one of the lowest land costs. So it's only about 1,069 per square foot. The rest of the development, Grand Diamond, Tembusu Grand, Maria Blue, the land cost is actually higher.
So comparison, we'll be using Emerald of Katong versus Tembusu Grand. So why I use Tembusu Grand is because the project is just across the road and it just launched 1 year ago. So basically you can see both tenure are just 99-year lease, and TOP date one is 2029, which is Emerald of Katong, and Tembusu Grand will be 2028. The PSF is 1302. So looking at Emerald of Katong, which is 1069 PSF, which is 18% lower. So there might be a possibility that developer might be launching close to Tembusu Grand or maybe slightly lower. Depends on the developer that day itself. Of unit wise, both are the same, which is 1 plus study all the way to 5-bedder. Tembusu Grand, which is non-harmonization, and Emerald of Katong is harmonization. I will explain this one shortly in the next slide. So based on the car park, as Nitin has mentioned, Emerald of Katong has a basement car park, or Tembusu Grand is a multi-story car park. Okay, what is GFA harmonization? So for Tembusu Grand itself, aircon ledge, the void space is included inside the square feet itself. Based on Emerald of Katong, is under harmonization rule. So basically the aircon space, the void space is not included. 100% usable space, that will be included. So that's why Emerald of Katong, the layout wise it sounds smaller, but actually in fact it's almost similar, same size as Tembusu Grand.
Okay, rental returns in D15. So what you may ask, why is this important for those buying 1-bedder and 2-bedder? Because actually most buying that for investment. And so let me just run through with you some of the rental returns here. So Shore Residences is also a development that's actually quite near to the MRT. You can see that the average rental here is actually 3,660. And based on a 2,600 per square foot for a 484 square foot 1-bedder in EOK, it will actually amount to about 1.25. And if you were to use the rental yield based on Shore Residences itself, right, which is about 3,700, your rental yield here is actually 3.55%.
So I think by then when it TOPs already, I think Emerald of Katong will be the newest boy over that side, and at the same time it's nearer to the MRT as compared to the Shore Residences, which is 8 minutes away for the MRT.
Okay, so now 1-bed plus study analysis for you guys. So what we have here is actually the type A1S. So what you can see is that actually it's about 484 square feet. Blocks is actually block 51, 55, 57, 63. So I've actually indicated those in this here. So this actually it's actually circled in red for those blocks. Also the stacks are also indicated likewise. So it's actually stack 1, stack 22, 30 and 35. So only 82 units are 10%, it's not a lot. And only stack 30 is actually inward facing, everything else is outward facing. So what do I mean by inward facing? So inward facing is normally those that are facing the pool or the facilities, and those facing are usually facing the greenery or the roads itself. So estimated price based on 245, 25 and 26, you can see that the quantum is actually 1.19 mil. 1.21 mil and 1.26 mil. So I've actually indicated this for all the various layouts itself.
Plus study, Nitin, do you see anything different from the norm or not?
Actually, yes, there's this study area, so this actually can be used as a dressing area for the ladies, and this is something that they will love. So one thing I actually noticed, right, is this part of the left side of the room, the sunlight actually cannot come in, like it will actually make it more darker. What do you think, Andy?
But this is a standard one bedder layout, which is a longish type of layout. But I think one thing that I like about this one bedder, you can see that the kitchen is an L-shaped countertop, which means that you have more space for food preparation.
Okay, so rental returns in D15, so what I mentioned earlier, one bedder, two bedder, people actually look at the numbers. So in terms of short residences, 8 minutes to the MRT, for a two bedder, the average rental is actually 5,370. Basing on a 2,600 per square foot and a 646 square feet two bedder, it will actually cost you about 1.68 mil. And if the estimated rental is 5,400, the rental yield will be 3.85%.
Sounds healthy, bro.
Yes. Now we're looking at the two bedder premium analysis. So we have two types. One is B1P, another is B2P. So the square feet is 6,224 square feet for the B1P, and B2P is actually at 646 square feet. So for B1P, there's actually blocks of 51, 63, 55, 57. I've actually circled those in red with the stacks of 4, 19, 27, and 38. So only stack 27 is actually outward facing, and stack 4, 19, 39 are inward facing. So the estimated price based on the matrix that we have here, 245, 2526, it would be 1.52 million, 1.56 million, and 1.62 million. Now let's take a look at the 646 square feet. Now we got block 51, 55, 63 with 3 stacks, 8, 15, and 42. So all are outward facing.
What is the differences between these two layouts, B1P and B2P? So size-wise, it's only 22 square meter difference only. So looking at 646 square feet, that one, you can look at this kitchen itself. Actually, you can enclose this kitchen by install a glass wall over here. So in fact, this is an L-shaped countertop, which I like because there is a wall over this side, which you can install a top cabinet. So you give you more extra cabinet space. So 4 square feet, you can look at this side. There isn't a wall over there, so you are not able to install any kitchen cabinet in the airspace that side. So over here, looking at 646 square feet, there's a designated dining area, which is, it won't block your way while you're walking in this direction. But for 646 square feet, it might block the master bedroom, that's area. So location prefer B2P layout because just another 22 square meters, it gives a lot of functionality for this area itself. And the price difference might not be a lot of difference.
So now we are looking at the 2-bed plus study analysis lah. So we have actually 3 layouts, B3S, B4S, and B5S. So B3S is 678 square feet, B4S is 689 square feet, and lastly we have B5S at 700 square feet. So for 678 square feet is on block 53 and 57 with stacks 9 and 23. So they are both inward facing. Estimated prices are here, as you can see, 1.66, 1.7, and 1.76 mil. So now let's look at B4S. It's in 4 blocks, 51, 53, 55, and 63 with stacks 5, 12, 18, and 39. 3 inward facing, 1 outward facing, and the quantums are all indicated here based on the different square foot lah. And lastly, we have now B5S at 700 square feet. So take note that there's only 1 block with 1 stack for this particular layout, and it's only outward facing. And these are the quantums based on the various prices that is actually indicated.
Coming into 2-bedroom study, what's the differences between these 3 layouts? One is 678 square feet, 689 square feet, and 700 square feet. So let's go to the first layout, which is the 678 square feet. So coming into 678 square feet, you can look at the kitchen is a tuck-in kitchen. So as this area, as I mentioned, probably you can install a glass panel on this side. So over here, there's a study area. So on this study area, either you can use it as a study. If not, if you want, you can partition out as a store or additional area. Coming into 689 feet, basically the kitchen is larger as compared to the 678 square feet. So in fact, this area, you also, if you want to install a glass panel, is doable. So coming towards the study area, which is tagged along one of the common bedroom. So to be honest, I prefer this layout as compared to the 6, 7, 8 square feet because the study, you can knock down the wall, you can make a larger common bedroom itself. So coming towards the other layout, which is 700 square feet, and I prefer this layout as compared to the rest of the 2+ study. Coming towards this 700 square feet, personally prefer this 700 square feet as compared to 689, 678 square feet. Reason why, if based on bigger square feet wise, if there is not much price difference, I will go for this 700 square feet. Because first thing foremost, the 700 square feet is bigger kitchen, which you can enclose this kitchen. At this side of the wall, you can still install more kitchen cabinet. So it gives you more storage space on this side as compared to the 689 and 678 square feet.
Okay, so now we have actually come to the EOK and Tembusu Grand 2-bedder comparison. So for Tembusu Grand, it's actually the B2S at 743 square feet, and for EOK, it's actually the B5S at 700 square feet. So do take note that they are both, even though they are different sizes, they are technically the same due to the harmonization that we have actually covered earlier. So now I want to actually go through with you what are the key differences and which is a better layout lah. So you can see that EOK, the study is actually bigger and flexible. So you can see that this can be hacked to make it a bigger bedroom space lah. Do take note that for Tembusu Grand, you cannot actually hack. And for EOK, right, there's no wasted space due to the dumbbell layout. And for EOK, kitchen is also bigger and you can actually do the cabinetry here. For Tembusu Grand, what we have to also take note is that recently the transaction here, the highest for a 2-bed plus study was actually 2.01 mil. So, and this was only done in September 2024 lah. So if EOK you can get anything below 1.85, actually this is something that you can consider to buy, and this is a layout that we think will be sold out on the first day itself.
Because the price gap of 150k to 200k, I think this will be a very safe buy for the EOK 700 square feet.
Okay, so some resale leasehold price comparison. We have the Shore Residences and the Silver Sea. Shore Residences highest is actually at 1,900 per square foot. Just transacted only in September this year. And for Silver Sea, you can see that its highest is actually at 2,200 per square foot. Also in August 2024, lah, fairly recent. But what you have to take note is that when actually EOK TOP, both of these will be 17 to 19 years old. And then EOK premium is only 20% more as compared to these properties which are like 17 to 19 years older than EOK now lah.
Fun fact, for Park Esta, which is located at District 14, which is just in front of Eunos MRT, they already transact at 2003 to 2004 PSF. So let's say if EOK transacted, they launched at 2004 to 2005, I think it's very attractive because new launch selling at the resale price.
So now we have come to the 3-bedder analysis, 101 units, 12%. So there's two types, C1 and C2. C1 is actually 883 square feet. C2 is about 904 square feet lah. So for C1, you can see that block 57, stack 25, and it's outward facing lah. And the price based on the various prices are actually indicated here. And for the C2, right, you can see that blocks 51, 53, 55, 63, with the stacks corresponding in 7, 10, 16, and 41. So 3 hours outward and 1 stack turn is inward facing. So based on the various prices, the quantum is actually indicated here. 3-bedroom layout. One is 883 square feet, the other one will be 904 square feet. What are the differences between these two layouts? Actually, there's not much difference. The differences is only at the entrance area. So for the 904 square feet versus 883 square feet, the difference is only at the entrance. So if you are asking me to go and choose, I will prefer the 904 as compared to the 883 square feet. 3-bed plus study analysis. Now we have 3 layouts lah, C3S, okay, C4S and C5S. So for C3S, right, you can see that block 51 and 53 stack 6 and 11. One is inward, one is outward facing. That is 969 square feet. So these are actually the estimated price based on the various prices mentioned earlier and the quantums corresponding to it. So the next layout is C4S, blocks 51 and 63, stack 2 and 36. So both are outward facing, 990 square feet, and these are the estimated prices lah. And lastly, we have the 1023 square feet. So this is blocks 55, 57, and 63. Stacks is 20, 28, and 37. 2 inward, 1 outward facing. C6S. Yeah. And estimated prices and the various quantums are reflected accordingly for you.
In the 3 plus study, what is the differences between these 3 layouts? For 3 plus study wise, there is 3 types of layout over here. So what is the differences between 969 square feet versus 990 square feet? The differences in the living hall space. So for 990 is bigger by 21 square feet is just because of living hall space. So in fact, the study wise over here, it can be doubled up as a helper's room. What's the differences between 990 and 1023 square feet? Personally prefer this layout, and probably I might be buying this layout as well. So the differences between these is, you can see I already circled, the study is over here, whereby you can enclose the door over here. Then this will be a very big master bedroom itself. So you can see over here itself, the entrance over here, there is more privacy. So which means that your neighbor couldn't see from directly into your unit itself. And the living hall is also those bigger in space. And why I like this most are, if you are standing here, you can see through your space. So this one, it looks like your living hall and the dining area is a very big space for a 3-bedder itself, for this 1023. So in District 15 itself, the demographic over here, they are looking for the lux factor. So in fact, 1023 probably will be fitting in the lux factor for them because it looks spacious to them and it looks more functional.
So now we have actually come to the 3-bed plus study analysis. So we have C5F and C4S. So one is 990 square feet for the C5F, and C4S is also 990 square feet. For the C4S, it's actually both outward facing in blocks 51 and 63. And for C5F, is also block 55 and 57 with stack 21 and 29, one outward, one inward facing, and the quantums are actually reflected here lah.
Okay, lastly, there's also another 3-bedroom flexi over here. So 3-bedroom flexi, and which is C5F versus C4S. What's the differences over here? The differences is only on this wall. For the 3 flexi, only this wall can be hacked. So on the other side, this wall cannot be hacked. The differences is just this only. So it's only on the wall itself. That's it.
Okay. So now we have come to the 4-bedroom analysis. We have about 158 units comprising about 18%. One is block 53, stack 13, outward facing. So the quantum is actually reflected here. This is layout type D1S, and the size is actually 1152 square feet. Next, we have D3P going in at 1259 square feet with the quantums reflected. So they are also all inward facing. And you need to know that the block is actually 55, 57, 63 with the stacks 17, 24 and 40. All inward facing lah. So I have actually indicated here in the site map itself for your reference lah. And we also have D4P, so it's on block 51 and it's only in stack 3 with inward facing. So the quantum is also reflected here for the various price points. That's about 1270 square feet lah. Okay, so now going into the analysis for the layouts, 1152 is actually the least favored for me lah, because at this price point, right, I feel that buyers are looking for a luxurious feel. And when you're looking at this kind of quantum, people actually don't mind topping up a little bit more if they can get a better feel for the unit itself lah. And for 1259 square feet, right, you can notice that there's a wider living room as compared to the 1152 square feet. Yeah. And so for the 1259 square feet, right, you can actually shift the dining area from here to here. And this space, you can actually use it for your piano or cabinets. So what you have noticed is D15 buyers, some of them, they actually want some space for their piano as well. Then I think this is actually very suitable for those groups of people lah. And lastly, right, 1152, even though I say it's not my preferred, it might actually attract some group of buyers who are actually budget conscious lah, and they're looking to keep their purchase within 3 million. I think it's a good option for them.
Compared between 1259 and 1270, the differences is actually there's not much big difference. The difference is only at the entrance area. So you can see over here, as I mentioned, privacy will not be compromised, because when people look in, they only look at the wall here, and you also can do more shoe cabinets on this side as well, as compared to the 1259 square feet.
Okay, now so we have reached the 4 beta analysis for the bigger unit types, one going at 1302 square feet, which is the D5 LS. So you can see that it's actually located in block 59, which is the Lux block. So one key thing I want to highlight here is that for the units in the Lux block, the finishes are premium quality. So this means that you might be expecting to pay about 1 to 2% more because of this. It's located in stack 34, which is inward facing. Based on the estimated prices, and the quantums are reflected here for your easy reference. Another thing is for the 1313 square feet, it's located in stack 31, outward facing. The quantum is also reflected accordingly. I've also highlighted for you where these units are in the site map itself for your easy reference.
So based on D5LS and also D6LS, what's the differences between 1302 square feet and 1313 square feet? I think the differences over here is only at the entrance area for the 1313 square feet, slightly bigger. So the rest is almost the same. So for District 15 people, they prefer those whiter frontage, this kind of layout, and also with those posh marble finishing. So for example, for Amber Park, during the launch day itself, the 4.5 beta went off first. So we will be expecting the Emerald of Katong, the 4.5 beta will go first as well.
Okay, so now EOK and Tembusu Grand, some key differences for the bigger unit types. So for EOK, the 1302 square feet, 3.39 million, just a rough estimated price. D5LS. And for Tembusu Grand, 1432 square feet, it was already transacted at 3.5 million in September 2024, and this is a D1 type. So what are the key things that I actually noticed is that for EOK, right, the layout is more preferred because you can see that the walk-in area is bigger and there's actually a wider frontage as compared to the available 1432 square feet for Tembusu Grand. And another thing is you also need to know is that for Tembusu Grand, they have actually 4 toilets, while EOK, right, only have 3 toilets. The thing is that EOK sacrificed the toilet for a study, and actually depending on your family usage patterns, I personally would prefer to have a study because usually people spend more time in a study, right?
Instead of the toilet.
Yeah. So a key difference I want to highlight to you here is that there's actually a difference of 200k just because of harmonization. So this is something that you may want to also factor in when you're making a consideration for EOK . Okay, now lastly, we are at the 5 beta analysis. So I've just taken one of the sample size of 1561 square feet, the D5 LS. So estimated price is about 4.06 million. Continuum 1905 square feet, so the transactor is about 5.47 million . So you can see that Continuum, there's a better layout to the EOK. I personally feel that Continuum has a more majestic layout for a 5 beta. So usually for 5 beta, people usually want to have a very majestic feeling to the development itself for the unit type .
Definitely, people pay for top money for this type of bigger size layout.
Yeah.
So in fact, in District 15, there's only 106 units for 5 betas itself. So it's very, very rare. So lastly, come to the price. So we don't have the exact PSF right now. So we already come up with a price matrix, which is 2004-5, 2005, 2005, all the way to 2008. So looking at one plus study, if you are using 2550 as a reference, the price will be 1.234 millions. So it depends on the facing and the level itself. So based on 2 beta premium will be quantums around 1.6, that range. Based on 2 plus study will be the range of 1.75. Depends on the facing and depends on the level itself. Looking at 3 beta itself is around 2.3 millions. If you are looking at 3 plus study, will be around 2.5 plus ish. Coming to 3 plus study itself, the price will be around 2.45 to 2.55, that range. For 4 plus study itself will be around 2.9 ish, that kind of range. And for 4 bedroom premium will be starting from 3.2 millions. And for the 4 bedroom lux wise will be around 3.3 ish, like that. So 5 bedroom will be starting from 3.7 mil onwards to 3.9 mil. So personally feel that the 4 beta lux will go first, the 5 beta lux will go first as well. For the 3 beta itself, our personal preference will be 1023 square feet, and 2 plus study wise, I prefer will be the 700 square feet. Depends on the quantum itself. So probably if you are going for investment purposes, I probably will recommend you take those non-pool facing lower quantum for ROI. So for the 2 bedroom wise, I will take 646 square feet. If the price is not huge different, I will take the 646 square feet. So 1 bedroom, nothing much for me to say because it's only 10% of it. So I think that also will be one of the highlight in this Emerald of Katong.
Now we have come to the end, and thank you for staying all the way. So during the launch day itself, things can get hectic because developments like this, we expect the demand to be there. You can see units getting snapped up in front of you, and I think it's very important to have a consultant to actually advise you what are the top options that you can go for. So even though you don't get your first option, you still have a second and third option that you can go for based on your ballot number itself. Yeah, so if anything, just give us a call and we'll be happy to assist you accordingly, and our contact methods are as below.
So thing to take note of the developer price strategy. So within the same development itself, even for the same floor, same size, same layout, same facing itself, probably will have price disparity. Some even 100k disparity even for the same facing. And not forgetting that different level have a price jump. So even for one level price jump, probably 50k differences. Probably you can watch this video as I put over here, that how we help our clients to spot those discount unit among the same development itself.
Feel free to reach out to us via our contact methods below, and we will see you at the next one. So do like and subscribe. Bye!